In general, the most problematic drinking seems to be associated with off licenses. So is there something we could think about in terms of the hours of licenses, off licenses in particular, the strengths available? Some boroughs have kind of voluntary schemes at least, or make it a licensing condition to try to get rid of super strong ciders and lagers, for example, that are associated with problematic drinking. Single cans sales, you can do stuff around that. Spirit miniatures, so there's some stuff about licensing we might want to discuss. And there's also things like advertising. Councils own a lot of advertising sites. Transport for London, the GLA, own a lot of advertising sites. Is there more we could do to reduce the advertising and affect the attractiveness and the availability of alcohol that way?
One of the problems with London is people live in Lambeth and drink in Southwark. And in fact, all over London. Young Londoners particularly travel all over London to drink. So licensing, it's really appealing that people deal with licensing at a pan-London level.
So the issues we identified was we have these, I suppose, there are some things to a degree within our control as local authorities. So licensing, absolutely. Advertising was shown with the TfL ban, but also we have a local authority advertising policy around high fat, high sugar, high salt foods, which has been quite important. And then there's some areas, obviously Scotland as a whole, but Newcastle, some early work in Lambeth about minimum unit price, because the evidence around minimum unit price is that it really helps reduce levels of consumption with the people who are drinking most. Colin's figures are really interesting. I mean, you can choose when you start the data, but actually that doubling of hospital admissions, because in 2003 we had a massive liberalisation, yes, of that. So we moved from quite restrictive licensing laws to just very permissive ones. The other thing we touched on again was this reduced strength. So local voluntary agreements to really impact on the availability of high strength lagers, ciders, single cans,